Plane was directed by Jean-Francois Richet and stars Gerard Butler and Mike Colter and is a movie about a plane. It goes down in a place, okay, there's another plot to it. There's a prisoner transfer happening on this plane, and on New Year's Eve night, a lot of passengers are now trying to get home. However, as this plane takes off, it gets caught in a storm, it lands in the middle of an island, and it turns out this island is being run by separatists and militants, and there's no government, so it's basically all up for grabs. And so all of a sudden, we are in a hostage situation, and the captain has to do what he can to save them, and he has to work with this convict who is on board. I appreciate the simpleness of the title. Plane. You know, you had ambulance last year, now we have plane. Sometimes it's the simplest things. You don't need anything complicated. You could have done anything over here. It could have been like ground assault or, last survivor or something like that. Nope. It's just called plane. And I'm okay with that. If you are going to buy a ticket to watch a Gerard Butler action movie in which he has to kill a bunch of bad guys in order to save a bunch of people, and it's got a bunch of action sequences that are going around a very simple plot, then you are going to have the best time of your lives with a movie like Plane, because you're going to get exactly what you want for the price of admission. It's very funny because this is now the second movie review that I've done in 2023 where I've said you get what you pay for. In the case of Megan, I said you're gonna get a robotic doll who kills people and is doing a bunch of crazy stuff. You get your money's worth. With the film like Plane, it lives up to that hype immeasurably. It's basically a 90s action movie come to life in 2023 with some pretty stellar work from Gerard Butler. He's very committed to the bit and he does a really good job in this movie. It's actually surprisingly a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. Like when I walked into the theater, I was expecting something way worse, something even more surface level, but surprisingly, I found myself very involved in the film, and even though it does keep things pretty simple and standard, and it's not like you've never seen anything like this before, the film manages to find a way to keep you invested thanks to some very intense action sequences, and again, some great work from Butler, but also Mike Colter, who is really, really good in this movie. The two of them are a great action pair. They both just enjoy killing some fools and then eventually getting into bigger action sequences, and it's honestly pretty well done. But the one thing that actually struck me the most out the gate was how they handled the plane sequence itself. See, this thing gets caught in a storm and it's going down, but it actually is so well directed. Like, it actually has this feeling of claustrophobia and tension as you're watching this plane suddenly just lose all power, and suddenly they're about to hit a very rough descent. And I don't want to go any further into that, but the way that's handled is actually pretty well done. And I do have to give some credit to the way that is directed. And the other action sequences too, as it goes on, they're pretty pulse pounding, especially towards the third act when you get to all hell breaking loose. And I do have to give a lot of credit to that. I think in the end of the day, when it comes to reviewing a film like Plane, it's simple. It's very simple, like the review for Megan. There's not much more that I can say about it. It doesn't have the most in-depth story by any means. It's definitely, does a lot of things you've seen 1,000 times before in action movies. There's a couple of very convenient beats they hit every now and then. There's a couple of moments in particular where I was like, oh yeah, that thing is over there, so this is going to happen now. And that's exactly what happened. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to an experience that you enjoy, did I enjoy Plane? Absolutely. I do recommend checking it out. Take your friends for it, take a bunch of people, and just go have a good time, grab some popcorn, and it's a solid hour and a half fun time at the movies. I mean, sometimes that's really all you need. And I think this one does it fairly well. And I think it's worth a watch. I'm going to give Plane a 7 out of 10. Short review, to the point. Don't really need to say anything more beyond this. And this looks like the title, Guys, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to more reviews very soon. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe. And I'll see you guys at the movies.